When we think about going to heaven, going to hell, the picture we have is of like a grading of society. So at the top, we have the kinds of people you spoke about, but maybe on that, so imagine life is like a big bookcase. And on the top shelf of that bookcase, you have some of the greatest people who have ever lived. So not just people who were famous in England or in the United Kingdom, since we're still the United Kingdom, but just famous around the world. You say their name and everyone goes, they were a fantastic person. Okay? I mean, I don't know whether any of you know who even Mother Teresa was, but she was someone who was considered probably in the 20th century to be a really great person. And there are a few of those people in the world, famous not just in their time, but of time, and well-known and loved. Now, imagine on the shelf below that, you have national heroes. They are not famous around the world, but within the country you are from, you mention their name, and everyone goes, wow, that was a great person, a significant person, a wonderful person. And then on the shelf below that, you've got ordinary, decent, hard-working people. Okay, they're not famous, they're not well-known, maybe they are giving their life in charitable service. You trust them, you like them. When you go away on holiday, you would ask them to look after your dog, or your rabbit, or have the keys to your house. And on the shelf below that, you've got people who you would love to have at a party because they have so many interesting stories to tell, but you would never allow them to look after your dog. You would never allow them anywhere near your rabbit. Okay? You would never give them the keys to your house because when you came back, it may not be there anymore. But they're sort of, they just live on the edge of it. And then you've got other people who lie, cheat, steal, and this kind of stuff. And then on the shelf below that, you've got really evil people who actually enjoy inflicting pain on others, like dictators, dentists, and these kinds of people who get a kick from pain. And you are asked, okay, you have to draw a line. And wherever you draw this line, people will go into heaven. And the question is, how far down the bookshelf do you go? At what point do you draw the line and say, these people are worthy of going and these people shouldn't go? Well, what most of us do is we look at whatever shelf we're standing on and we draw the line right there. And we say, you know what? From this point up, it should be okay. Now, we are told in the Bible that God will draw a line of judgment, but he doesn't draw it this way. He draws it this way. It runs down the middle of the case, of that bookcase. And on one side of that line are people who've been offered forgiveness by God, because we have all done things wrong, all of us. And they've said yes, and they've received it, and they are forgiven. It's one of the great uniquenesses in the Christian faith, as Tanya was saying. And on the other side of the line are people who've been offered forgiveness by God, and they've said no. And so that is where the dividing line comes. This is why Paul says in the book of Romans in chapter 3 that there is no boasting. No one can boast. No one can be proud. All we can boast of, all we can be proud of is what God has done in Christ on the cross. He's made forgiveness possible. He has offered forgiveness. He is just and he is the justifier of others. He is right, he is perfectly good, and he makes it possible for us to be made good by wiping the slate clean, forgiving us and giving us his own goodness. And it's on that basis that we stand before God, not on the basis of any great thing that we've done or achieved.